Kingsley Cross at Kingslow Fitness. Going back over a book from Jack Faragasso. The book's name is Mastering the Art of Figure Drawing. I think that's what it is. Mastering Drawing the Human Figure. Right? All right, so let's say figure out to draw the sartorius muscles from the points on the iliac to the inside of the knee forms. Figure M, figure M. The abdominal form is now added. Notice how it stays within the confines of the inverted triangle. Now continue the lines of the sartorius muscle around the inside of the knee from downward, following the curves of the shin bone to the ankle, and then to the top of the to the top and then to the top, then to the bottom of the foot. Again, now continue the line of the sartorius muscle around the inside of the knee from the knee form downward, following the curve of the shin of the curve of now continue line of the sartorius muscle around the inside of the knee form downward, following the curve of the shin bone to the ankle, and then to the bottom of the foot, from the bottom of the inner ankle or a line to the outer ankle, which draws inside of the foot. Remember the inner ankle is always higher than the outer ankle. The sternomastoid muscles are added within the neck form. Figure N. The forms of the arms are added completely completing the basic form. Figure O. This drawing shows the rear or back view of the basic figure. The seventh cervical vertebra of the neck is the equivalent of the pit of the neck in the front view. Note the triangle. Note the triangular shapes of the scapula hanging on a curved line, which goes to the widest point, or to the widest points of the shoulder, and the way the neck muscles insert into the basic into the base of the skull, Done. The neck muscles insert into the base of the skull. Note this. Note also that the line at the bottom of the buttock form is. Then the buttock forms is below the crutch point of the front. The combination of the width of the shoulders together with the width of the hips along with the distance from the pit of the neck to the crutch determines the particular individual. There are innumerable combinations of these measurements, and probably no two people have exactly the same ones. This is one of the first things you must get correct in your line in your drawing, for that will give you the individual person. If you miss these ratios, you miss the individual, and everything else you draw will be wrong for the drawing. It is based on a wrong foundation. The following drawings show some of the basic combinations. Practice making dozens of similar drawings to familiarize yourself with the idea. Figure 2A. Now let's see figure 2A before 2A and B. Figure 2A, B, C, da. Figure. Okay, so I'm gonna go in my in another perspective with it. Figure 2A, B, C, D. Figure 2A, B, C, D, E, F. All right, and I think G also. Okay, but figure that up. Figure 2A, hourglass figure in that perspective. Now figure 2B, wider shoulder, narrow hips. Figure C, that's another, just like similar to the hourglass figure, but more equivalent upper as the lower. As in figure A was narrow shoulders, wider hips. Now figure D, wider shoulders, slightly wider shoulders, slightly narrow hips. Figure D, figure E, slightly not saying slightly slightly narrow shoulders and the hips. Hips is now formed in the sense of a shape in that perspective of the showing off the hip bones and etc. Figure F shows the height of the average from the low, average height of the they're not saying from the shoulders to the crutch from that perspective of the height from high, average, and low. Now for G, the shoulders narrow from narrow to average to wide in the sense of the shoulders. Now with the shoulders in that perspective being from the shoulders to the crutch, that's the inverted triangle in that perspective. Where we at? Figure 2. What? Figure 2. Figure 2A in a sense where we at, we on figure 2A, narrow shoulders, wide hips, figure B, wide shoulders, narrow hips, figure C, wide shoulders, wide hips, figure D, wide shoulders, whatever, average hips, figure E, wide shoulders, bony, boxy like hips, shape, figure F, the crutch point can be lower or higher than the average. This drawing shows a higher than average crutch point and an average and an average and an average and low and an average and an average and lower than average crutch. Figure G shows variations of the width of the shoulders, the outer points, the outer points, the outer points, designate width than average shoulders, the middle points average, the middle points average width, and the inner points designate now then average shoulders. The combination of figures 2F and G would cover the dimensions of almost all the torso almost all the torso of humanity or as regular as regards this. The combination of figures 2F and G would cover the dimensions of almost all the foot of all the torso or of all the torsos of humanity as regards shoulders width, shoulder width and length of the crutch from the pit of the neck.